Friday, just 15 days away. The start of the shopping season means you're going to be spending a lot of time at the mall.
That's right. And if you work up an appetite after this story, you might want to skip the food court. ABC 2 News investigator Josie Sturman is here now to explain why. Josie?
Well, Kelly, you're not the only one hitting the food court when you need something tasty while you're shopping. Roaches, mice, bugs. We found all of them inside restaurants at some of Baltimore's biggest malls.
Caution tape is never a good sign, but the only crime committed at this mall, just 50 minutes north of Baltimore, is an attempted assault on your gag reflex.
Like anybody else, I was a little shocked.
What happened here at the York Galleria could happen at any mall food court. They were welcoming guests you wouldn't want to dine with. Critters took over the court, causing a roach infestation so big it shut down every restaurant here for 2 days back in August. Deep cleaning and extermination needed to kill all the bugs.
It wasn't thousands, it wasn't hundreds, but it was enough to put us in a position that we were concerned enough to call it an imminent health hazard.
The hazard crawls across state lines here in Maryland, too, with pests spotted by Baltimore area health inspectors. ABC 2 News investigators found them, looking at 2 years' worth of restaurant inspection reports for 5 of the biggest local malls: Arundel Mills, Mandauman, White Marsh, Towson Town Center, and the mall at Columbia, which we checked out with our hidden camera. We focused in on violations cited for roaches, insects, and mice, and found plenty that might make food court dining hard to swallow. 12 of the 61 restaurants we examined had at least one pest violation. Things like live roaches in the kitchen, dead roaches in the freezer, even large amounts of mice droppings on the floor of the front line.
In the 20 years that I was a health officer both in Baltimore City and Howard County, we've had some problems with malls.
Dr. Peter Bielenson says it's to be expected. Food is attractive to pests, and they simply don't respect boundaries. So it's not hard for problems to scurry from restaurant to restaurant.
They more than spread. I mean, roaches don't know one stall from the other, and they're notoriously hardy little things. So they survive very easily, and they can easily go from place to place.
Bielenson says although pests are often a sign of hygiene issues at a restaurant, they're not considered a critical violation for a reason.
Rodent and roach infestation generally doesn't cause major public health problems other than disgust.
It's just gross.
It's just gross.
But sometimes it's more. When infestations are big enough, inspectors take action and close you down. Only one restaurant ABC 2 News investigators examined had that happen after a customer complained about a serious roach problem at Ruby Thai at Towson Town Center last fall. Records show inspectors found large quantities of mouse droppings on the floors and equipment and live cockroaches. The restaurant was closed for 3 days. Towson had just 2 restaurants cited for pest violations. White Marsh and Mandauman each had 1. The biggest offender we found, the mall at Columbia, with 8.
I would also argue potentially that our Howard County inspectors may have done a really good job and found these things that other people may not have.
Shining a light in the dark corners, but some customers say what they find is an image that takes a while to digest.
I still am going to be uncomfortable with it for quite a while. You know, it may be down the road. I don't know. I've always had that in my mind that they had it.
Got to point out, Arundel Mills had no restaurants with pest violations, but other spots that did were, for the most part, one-time offenders able to clean up immediately and move on. Now, Ruby Thai, which had the closure, is under new management, but they never picked up the phone and their corporate office did not respond. General Growth Properties, which owns 4 of the 5 malls examined in our report, told us, quote, "The safety and well-being of our visitors are of paramount importance to us. Anytime a violation or infraction is discovered, we require and expect our food vendors to take immediate corrective action." Now you can read their whole statement and check out a breakdown of which malls and restaurants had pest citations in the investigators section on abc2news.com. If you scroll down, you'll get a breakdown and a few little factoids about the malls, and we also get specific on the web. You'll find all that abc2news.com in the investigators section. Josie Sturman, ABC 2 News.
She can do it, can't she?
No doubt.
Oh, man. All right, coming up.